next year will be a worse year, and the year after will be equal to that year, and the year after that. This thing is not going to bottom, at least for 2 or 3 or 4 years. And anything can upset it in between. You know, I have other people saying to me, well, with all the things that you and so-and-so and so-and-so say, don't you think this is going to happen like next week? And I say, no. You got to be patient. These people are struggling to time this collapse to their best advantage. And that collapse will run parallel to them, the elitists who run the world, instituting a new war. Now, what they've done in the Middle East is not overtly and directly attacked Iran. They're backdooring the situation. And what they're doing is going after Gaza, Palestine first, to inflame. And then it's Lebanon, Syria, and then eventually Iran. And that could take 6 months, a year and a half. Could happen in 3 weeks. It's hard to say. But I think it'll take longer. Israel will grind it out. And they're doing the wrong thing. It's terrible what they're doing. And it has nothing to do with Israeli survival and everything to do with expansionism. And it's wrong. And I don't have any particular like or dislike for either side. I try to be fair. And they are going to be the instrument to begin World War III, and I think it's begun. And there's 2 reasons for that: to solidify the elitist position in the Middle East, and second of all, as a distraction to the terrible financial and economic calamity that awaits us. I think, you know, historically, this is probably going to be as bad as the deliberate collapse of the Lombard system in 1348, the year of the plague as well, that took down all the finances in Europe. And this gang that runs things from behind the scene were all thrown out of Venice. And they all went to Western Europe, mainly to Holland and to Wales, the only places that would accept them. And from those levels, they've again, over the centuries, done the same thing over and over and over again. These are the same families doing the same thing. And so we want to stop once and for all, and we got the opportunity and the communications to do it. We've got this program, and others like it, and now we have the Internet, and we can reach millions and millions and millions of people. And every day we get letters from all over the world. And so we're reaching millions and millions of people every day. And education is good, because then when these things happen, people will know who's doing what to them and what to do about it. And so that's what's going on, generally speaking. On the short term, I expected there would be a rally upward into the 9,500 area. You only get to 9,000. The market's 8,200 on a close today. It's come down 7 days in a row. I think the selling is so overwhelming that the elitists just can't stop it. But be as it may, we still could get a rally going into February, but the chances are slim now. Gold is getting tossed around, and that is derivative shorting. And I think for the most part, if not all. And unusual event. I'm very, very surprised at this correction. It should stop in this area somewhere. There's a very large short position, which I describe in the gold section toward the end, and maybe even the last item or close to it in the gold section. And it's the short position of the commercials, as they're called on the COMEX. And it's grown from about 95,000, oh gosh, I can't remember them, I think to 156,000. And it's a large move. The last time we had this kind of shorting was back around June, I think it was. We get up to 225,000 contracts. And they obviously think gold's going down, but they got to cover somewhere, and that somewhere we don't know. And under normal circumstances, gold would be $2,000 an ounce. This isn't normal. We got the government working against us. The amount of money that is being dished out is beyond imagination. The amount of money that banks are going to need to keep from going bankrupt. They are bankrupt, the five major legacy banks, as they're called. What legacy means, I don't know. Used to be called money center banks. They're all broke. Major brokerage firms are all broke. And it's government money, your taxpayer money, that's keeping them alive. Citigroup alone is going to need another $50 billion, even after they sell everything off. That's why they're frantically doing what they're doing. And, you know, Morgan Stanley's buying Smith Barney, their brokerage unit. Morgan Stanley's not in any better position than they are. But that's the way it is. I expect another maybe $300 to $400 billion to be poured into the financial sector. You haven't seen anything yet. I mean, this problem is so systemic, so bad, that you just can't imagine how bad it is. I mean, this was unbelievable, unbridled greed. I mean, these people simply went bananas. I mean, there wasn't enough money that they couldn't steal. And I see that this Madoff is continuing to live in his $70 million apartment or whatever it is, and but they put him under arrest. Big deal. Why should this man be sitting in his apartment when a kid that just robbed the corner store is in the tombs? I give up. You know, the kid stole $156.83. This guy stole $100 billion. It bears out exactly what I've been saying for years, over and over and over. Two sets of justice, one for the rich, one for the poor. And I learned that when I was 8 years old. It's nothing new. It isn't what you know, it's who you know. Pounded into my head as a child. And that's what's going on here. These are bad, bad people. And I see decent people making excuses for this guy. This was a scam. It wasn't a Ponzi scheme. All the money's outside the country. They deliberately robbed all their co-religionists. This guy should get 20 years, the rest of his natural life in jail. He won't. There'll be some tokenism, and he might get 1.5 years to 3, and that's it. And he'll be out, living on the billions that he salted away. It's disgusting. Absolutely disgusting. And I know, I've seen right here on CNBC some of the people who work there who are Jewish, who are enraged at what went on. And I don't blame them, and I feel bad for them, because they didn't do anything. And most of the targets of this man were charities. I mean, what kind of a sick human being is this guy? Groups that were helping people. Shabbat, Hadassah, things like that. Scholarship programs. This guy is a scumbag. And he should stay in jail for the rest of his life. Hanging is too good for him. Be as it may, that is the way we're headed. The market was actually up 248 today at 8,200. I gave you the interest rates.